Hello friend, this is your 1000 liter vacuum emulsifying mixer, and now I will tell you how to use this machine. First, when you receive this machine, you should connect to your factory power. Okay, you can see here, you should connect to your L1, L2, L3 wire and the ground wire here. And then you can see there are lots of wires and we mark the number on it. You should connect it according to the same number. You can check here. This wire, you should connect it and then according to the number. And here we also have some wires. You need to connect it according to the same number. Okay, and you can check these parts. This part is for the air inlet. You should connect to your air source here. Okay, and you can see this is our steam generator. It will produce steam to let the steam into the jacket. And now you can see here is the valve. You should keep this valve always open. And then here is the safety valve and then the pressure gauge here. And this is the power switch. Can turn on the power to use this machine. And then here, when you need to connect the water, let the water inside the steam generator, you should connect the water here. Use a pipe to connect it. And then here, this part is for the drain out the wastewater here. And then you should connect the pipe here and then let the pure water inside this steam generator. And then there has a floating board inside it. When the water is over than the floating board, it will stop the water supply. And also you don't need to turn off this valve. If you want to turn off this machine, just turn off this power switch. And you can see here is the steam inlet pipe here. Steam inlet pipes. This one is pure water inlet pipe and the tap water pipe, the cooling water in pipe and the cooling water out pipe, the drain water pipe. And also you can see here is the steam inlet pipe, the cooling water outlet pipe here, and the cooling water inlet pipe. This pipe is the condensate water outlet pipe, and this one is the condensate water outlet. And you can see we have the valves here, and you should keep these valves open when you receive this machine. And here are also the pipes like I just introduced. And here we have the drain water out pipe here. Now you can see here. Here, this one is for the vacuum pump outlet pipe here. And this one is the vacuum pump inlet pipe here. You should keep this well open when you use this machine. And also you can see this valve is solenoid valve, so it can automatic control. You just need to control it on the PLC screen. And also you can see this one is the tap water inlet pipe. When you connect to this pipe, you should keep this valve open. And this one is the drain water out pipe. We connect here, and you can also check the drain water out pipe here. And also you can see there are the letters on the pipe. You should connect this pipe according to the same letters. You can see here. Here you can see. And you should connect according to the numbers. There is also the same number. You should connect it to the same number. And for the platform, it's the same. You can see we have the same number here, and you should connect it according to the same number, because when we ship this machine, we will dismantle the platform. So you need to connect it according to the same number. You may also check here the numbers. You should connect it. And also for this one, you should connect it. This is our PLC control panel, and you can see here is indicate lights, and we have the emergency stop button. This emergency stop button's function is to use it when the machine is going wrong or have the emergency situation. You will need to use this emergency stop button, spin it, and the machine will stop. Okay, and now I will tell you how to control the PLC screen. You may check here, we have two languages, the English and Chinese. You can check the English language. And then here we have the full homepage. This one is for the main port monitoring. You can check here for the mixer. The speed setting, you can set speed here, like the 50. And then for this one is the actual speed, actual current, and time setting. You can set minutes, like the 2 minutes. And then this one is the remaining time. It means that when you start the mixer, how many times will remaining. You can check here, and then turn on it or turn off it. And then here, the same for the turbo homogenizer. You can also set the speed, like the 1000 here, and then you can check the actual speed here. And then for the actual current and the time setting, you can also set like 3 minutes. And then this is the remaining time. It's the same as the mixer, and turn on and turn off. And then here we have the actual temperature display here, and the heating temperature. You can set the temperature like the 70. You can set, and then for the cooling temperature, you can check you can also set here, like if you want to set 15 degree. And also is for the actual pressure, you can check here, and the pressure upper limit and the pressure lower limit of the vacuum function. Can also set for this one, can set like 85. And then for the power pressure lower limit, you can also set like the 60. You can set here. And then for the vacuum pump start or stop function here. And also let's check here is the lamp for the light, indicate lights. You can see here we have the indicate lights, and then dump or reset. Dump means you can tilting down this tank, and then reset. You should reset this tank when you don't need to tilting down. That the cover can hydraulic up and down if you reset only if you reset the tank. And then here we have the hydraulic up, start or stop, hydraulic down, start or stop, and discharge, start or stop. You can see here we can discharge the material through this pipe, through this rotor pump. Can equip the pipe here. Can discharge your materials. Okay, and now we can check the heating and cooling function here. You can check this one is the actual temperature, and this one is the temperature calibration. If the temperature is not quite correct, you can adjust here. And then for the heating temperature, you can set here like we just said, and the cooling temperature you also set here too. And the fast scheduling, it means that you can fast to move out the condensate water inside the pipe. And then here is the electric heating, and the electric heating starts or stop, steam heating starts or stop, and the cooling function starts or stop. And here of this diagram, you also can check the valves here. and then this valve, and it's the same of the hydraulic up and down. Okay, let's move to next page. And this one is for the oil water pulse monitoring. That's the same. You can set the time for the oil disperser, like the 3 minutes. 3 minutes. You can also set at the remaining time, just like I introduced, and turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off of the water and oil tank, and the actual temperature and the heating temperature you can set here, like the 70. Sorry, 70. Okay, and the temperature calibration and the fast scheduling. This for the oil tank and water tank, you can just set like 20 seconds. It will quickly move out the condensate water out. And you can see here is the electric heating, turn on, turn off for the water and oil tank, and the steam heating, turn on and turn off for the oil and water tank. And also you can see here is the oil pollution and water pollution. If you want to drain out the wastewater of these two tanks, you can use this function, turn on and turn off. And also you can see this diagram for the wells. If it means the red, it means it close it now. Okay, and now you can see the temperature trend. This temperature trend to let you know the temperature of these three tanks, like the main pots, oil pots, and water pots. And this has the alarm inquiries. It will tell you what's the machine's going wrong when you can see the test here, and then you can find the wrong place and correct it. And you can reset here. Okay, let's move to the home page. Okay, you can also check here. We have the tilt and reset button. You can set here to let the tank tilting down and reset the tank here. Okay, and now I will introduce the cover accessories of this tank. You may check here is the manhole. You can use this to spin the scraper and to look clearly inside of the tank. And then here, this is the breathing part. If you don't want to use the vacuum function, you can use this valve to release the vacuum. And this is the ingredient hopper. You can add some ingredients when this tank is under the vacuum situation. And when you can see this one is the digital display of the vacuum. You can check the pressure here. And also you can see this one is to connect a pipe of the CI spray ball, and then you can clean the tank inside. This whole pipe you can check. And then for this one, this is this material inlets. We equip you the pipe here. You can put the pipe to the water tank or the oil tank to suck the materials inside to the main tank. When the main tank is under the vacuum stage. Also, you can check here. We have the pressure gauge and safety valve to make sure this pressure will not over than 2 kg. And now you can see for this valve is for the positive pressure discharge the materials. But if you want to use this valve, you need to make sure your air is clean, not have impurities. Otherwise, it will damage the material inside the tank. And also you can see here, this valve is for the vacuum function. If you want to use the vacuum function, you should make sure the other valves, these valves, this manhole, and these valves are turned off, and then open this valve to use the vacuum function. Okay, and now we can test the functions. Now we test the vacuum function first. Like we just said, the pressure upper limit is minus 90 kPa and the pressure lower limit is minus 50 kPa. And then when you use the vacuum function, make sure all the other valves are closed and then open this valve first. And then open the vacuum function here. And then you can see the vacuum function is now working. We'll check the pressure of the PLC screen. And when this pressure is come to the 90 K minus 90 kPa, it will stop the vacuum function automatically. And when the pressure is lower than we said minus 50 kPa, it will start to vacuum function automatically. Okay, now it's like what we just said. The vacuum function is like to the minus 90 degree, 90 kPa, sorry. And the vacuum function now is stopped. And then when this pressure is lower than the minus 50, like I just said, the vacuum function will start working again. And let's check the material inside. You can use this to check the materials is under the vacuum stage. And when you want to turn off the vacuum function, you need to turn off the button on the PLC panel, stop, and then turn off the vacuum valve. And then now the materials is under the vacuum stage. And then if you want to release the vacuum, use this breathing port valve. And you should make sure all the other valves are closed. Here, closed. The manhole are closed. And then you should open this valve. And now you can see the vacuum is now releasing. Okay, and now you can see the vacuum is completely released now. And then you can turn off the valve. And now we can test the hydraulic up and hydraulic down of the tank. And now the tank is hydraulic up. But when you want to use the hydraulic up and down function, make sure the tank is on the correct place, is on the right place. And you can see this one is start. And stop. And now you can see here are the lamp. Turn on the lamp. It means that lights, that lights will turn on. And then if you close it, the lights will turn off. Okay, now we can test the turbo homogenizer. Like the speed, we just set the 1000 RPM, and the time setting, we just set like 3 minutes, and then we can open this function. And then here we have the light to tell you that you should confirm that it is safe for the main ports, then you can use this function. Yes. And then you can see the homogenizer is working now. The actual speed is like 1000, just like what we set. And also you can see the remaining time is also 3 minutes. When it's lower than, is that 2 minutes, it will change here. And then if you want to turn off this homogenizer, you can just push this and turn off it. And then if it's like become, and if it's arrived to the what the minutes what you set, it will stop automatically. And then now we can manually turn off it. And then the homogenizing function is now turned off. And now you can see the cover is now hydraulic up. When this cover is hydraulic up, you cannot use the missing function because it's very dangerous. And now we can test the hydraulic down function. And if you want to use the hydraulic down, you can set here. Now you can see the cover is now hydraulic down. But always make sure the tank is on the correct place. And you can also see the diagram is now moving. You will make some noise to alarm you that the cover is now hydraulic down. Okay, now the cover is completely hydraulic down. And now we can test the mixing function. Like we just set the speed setting. It's like we can set like 40. And the time setting we can set like 1 minute. And then we can turn on this function. Yes. And then the mixing function now is working. And when the time is arrived to what we set, the mixing function will stop automatically. And now we can manually turn off it. And turn off the mixing function. And now we can test the heating function and the cooling function here. And now you can see here is the heating temperature you can set here, and the cooling temperature you can also set here. And for the fast scheduling, this is for the steam heating. And for this fast scheduling, you should set about like 5 minutes. It means that 300 seconds. And now go down, you can see here are some pipes, and then you should make sure these valves should open. Here, you should open too. And then you can, when the fast scheduling, you set like 300 seconds. And then you can, after 300 seconds, you can touch this pipe. When this pipe you touch is very hot, it means that the steam is come out, that the steam is now circulating into the tank. And let's review it. You set the temperature like 70 degrees Celsius, and then fast scheduling set like 300 seconds. And then you can turn on the heating function. Before turn on the heating function, you should make sure the pipes valves are all open. Okay, now we can test it steam heating. And now you can see the steam out. The valves are open automatically. And then you can turn off the heating function. And for this fast scheduling, we now set the 300 seconds, but you can test it by yourself. For example, if you set the 300 seconds and you touch the pipe and it's already hot, but the time is not more than 300 seconds, you can count this time and set here as your new fast scheduling time. And now for the cooling function, you can just set the temperature here, like 20, and then you can open it, and then you can push this start button. You can see here the cooling out and the cooling in is now open. And then if you don't want to use this function, just turn off it, stop. And now we go to the main part monitoring page. And for this dump and reset function, we will not test because now you can see here we equip the rotor pump here. If you want to tilting down this tank, you should dismantle this part. And also you should open here to make sure the tank could correctly tilting down, like this one. And now if you want to discharge your material, you can use the start button. And if you want to stop the discharge, you can use the stop button. For now, we will not test because now we have waters inside the tank. And you may check this too is the water tank and oil tank. And you can see here is the steam inlet and the steam inlets here. And also we equip you 2 pipes. Here is for the pure water, and this one is for the tap water. And this pure water's function is for you to produce your materials. And this tap water, you can connect it to clean the tank. Okay, for the PLC touch screen, we already switched to oil water pots monitoring. And then for the oil pots, you can set like 1 minute. And then this is the remaining time. And now you can turn on it to test. To test the disperser on the oil pot. Okay. When it arrives to what you set, the dispersing function will stop automatically, and now you can manual stop. And for the water tank, it's the same, set 1 minute, and then turn on it. And check. And it also will stop automatically when the time has arrived to what you set, and then manually turn off now. And for the heating temperature, you can adjust temperature here for the oil pots and water pots, like 60. This one, like 65, for example. And then this, for the fast scheduling, the water tank and oil tank needs about like 20 seconds to fast schedule the water. And then for the steam heating, you can turn on it when you need, like here. You can see this is now turned on. You can see the green light means the well is turned on now. And if you don't need the heating function, turn off it. You can see the diagram here. Okay, and for the oil pollution and water pollution, you can turn on it to pollute your wastewater. Now let's test it. Turn on, and turn off. You may check. And now you can see this is the rotor pump. We now connect the rotor pump to the tank here. You may check, and then we equip you the soft pipe here to connect to the tank. And then you can use the circulation function. And you may switch the page to the main part monitoring. And then if you want to use the circulation function, first you need to open the discharge button and then start. And then here of the rotor pump, you can open this discharge pump on button. And then you can use the pump inverter to adjust the speed. And then you can see the water now is circulating. And now you may see the water is now circulating. And if you want to turn off the circulation function, first you need to turn off the pump inverter. Let the speed to the 0. And then turn off the discharge pump off button. And then turn off the discharge button on the PLC screen. Sorry. Okay. And now you can see the circulation function is stopped. Okay, and you may see here we have the drain water out pipes. This pipe is for the main tank to drain out the wastewater. You can connect it from here. You can dismantle these parts and then use a short pipe to connect here to let the main tank wastewater drain out. Okay, and now I will tell you the principle of heating function and cooling function in case you have some problems when you receive the machines. First, you can see here, you should open this well always, and then you should let the steam come here when you use the heating function. Come here, and then the steam will go up to inside to the jacket, and then when it's full steam in the jacket, the steam will come out from this pipe. You can check this pipe. It will come out from here. Here, it will come out from here. And then for the cooling function, you can see here is the cooling water in pipe. The cooling water will comes in here, and then comes in here, and then the cooling water will comes in here, and then the cooling water out will comes from there. You can see here at the pipe, and then the cooling water will come out from this pipe. And you should remember that you should keep these valves always open, like I just said. See here, the water tank and oil tank, we also have the blue valves. You should remember that open this valve all the time. And for the maintenance parts, you should see here, this steam generator needs to be discharged the pure water once a week. You can discharge, when you need to discharge, open this valve to let the wastewater outside, and then change the new pure water inside the water tank. And then make sure the water is pure, that will not damage your production. For the second maintenance part, you may check here. This pipe is connected to the vacuum buffer tank. When you use the vacuum function, there might have some water inside the water buffer tank. So you need to open this valve once a week, then to let the water inside the vacuum buffer tank comes out to make sure that the vacuum function is working stably. And when you want to use this valve to let the water comes out, you should make sure that the tank is not under the vacuum stage. And then you may check here. This is for the vacuum pump water inlet, and you should keep this valve always open. Okay, for the third maintenance part, you can check there has two blue pipes. This function is to make sure the homogenizer will cooling down when it's working. That this well will comes the water inside the tank. And the final part for the electric heating, if you want to use electric heating, you should connect the wires here because this power is too high. So you need to singly connect the wires here. And then you should manually turn off the cooling water in valve. Now it's turned off. And then on the PLC screen, you should turn on the cooling function. Push this to start the cooling function. And then here you should connect a pipe to let the tap water in and open this valve to let the tap water inside the jacket. And then when the water comes out from here, it means that the jacket is full of water, and then you can turn off this valve. You can turn off this valve, turn off the tap water inlet valve. And then you can turn off the cooling function here, stop the cooling function. And then you can use the electric heating function. Point this to start and point this to stop. And then you use the electric heating and you want to cooling down the material inside the tank. First, you need to turn on this cooling water in valve. And then you can start to use the cooling function or stop the cooling function. Okay, and now we can test the tilting function of the main tank. You can press here, and then he will tell you to confirm. But now we cannot tilting the tank because he has the alarm here set the flipping board has not been opened. It is prohibited to dump it. So we need to open the flipping board, then we can let this main tank to tilting down. Now we should open this flipping board. Then we can use the tilting function. And then you should go to the alarm inquiries to reset the button. And then we can use the tilting function. And then you can check here. The tank is now tilting down. And reset the tank. And the tank is now reset. And if you don't need the tilting function, you can let this flipping board to the correct place. And if you want to use the tilting function, make sure this flipping board is flipped. And now we can test this function to use this pipe to suck the materials from the water tank and oil tank. Okay, and make sure the main tank is under the vacuum stage, and then you can use this soft pipe to suck the materials. You can check now it's under the vacuum stage, and then you can suck materials here. And then open this valve. Then you can see the water now is going inside to the main tank. And for the oil tank, it's the same. Open this valve. And then the water now comes from the oil tank to the main tank. Remember, let the main tank under the vacuum stage. And you can turn off it if you don't need this function. And this is the end of the 1000 liter vacuum emulsifying mixer introduction. Thank you.